Hey guys, how you doing? This is Guy here. Welcome to this live video. I'm here to talk about my experience at the NSE7 Enterprise Firewall Administrator exam from Fortinet. I just took the exam yesterday. If you are following me on TikTok or on any other platform, you might have heard about it because I made a video. I'm supposed to be live on Facebook as well, but seems like there is a problem there. Let me make sure I have the right key. Yep, this is what you get when you go live without warning. So I think it should be good now. Facebook should be live as well. I'm live on YouTube and Facebook right now. I know I didn't schedule this, but it is what it is. So if you've been watching me on TikTok, nope, that's the wrong one. That's the French one because I create content in English and in French. The KB trainings underscore FR, that is for the French folks. For you guys, it's going to be KB trainings only. That's where you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I share a lot with you there. So if you don't know me, my name is Gibi Suku. My goal is to share with you what I know and what I'm learning. That's very important. I learn things every day. I discover new world. I discover new technologies, and KB trainings was created for me to come share that with you so we can grow together. I also create some trainings on FR or EN. FR is for the French folks. en.kbtrainings.com. I throw everything in there. I right now I have the CCNA that's available. If you want to start or boost your career, CCNA is what I recommend to everybody. Mostly if you don't have an extensive experience in the tech field or networking, security, whatever. Having the CCNA or going through the CCNA will teach you a lot. And beyond that, you can get a job with it. You can boost your career. You can do a whole bunch of cool stuff, just like many of my friends or my other students or my students that have been through that training. So en.kbtrains.com. Sorry, I'm always confused with the French website. Thank you for joining me live. And if you don't watch me live, come back every Sunday. I tend to go live every Sunday just to be with you. Once again, my mentor. Thank you so much, Eve, for being live with me on YouTube. All right, so today I'm talking about the NSE7. First of all, let me log in into my account so I can show you where I am right now with my Fortinet trainings. I just received the new badge after my exam that I did yesterday. I just want to show that to you right now. One moment. Two-factor authentication, of course. Let me accept that. And I'm going to show you where I stand right now. And then this is just what I'm going to talk about today, the exam. And I'm trying to answer these few questions here. What is the NSE7 Enterprise Firewall Administrator 7.6? How do you study for it? What to do to pass the exam, how to study. Same thing, but different answer. What was my experience at the exam and how can I help you? All right, one moment. Let me go here under achievement. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. These are the credentials or the certifications I have right now. I just got this one here. This is the Fortinet Certified Solution Specialist in Network or Secure Networking, which means that I did one NSE 6 exam and one NSE 7. So the NSE 7 is the one I did yesterday, the Enterprise Firewall Administrator 7.6. The NSE 6, I don't know which one it is, but I might have done it not long ago because now I have the badge and it's going to expire in 2 years, which is November 22nd, 2027. He also renewed my FCP Secure Networking cert, so it's going to expire on the same day. And I also have the FCSS SASE, which is expiring next week or next year in March. So I'll probably have to take a SASE exam or something like that so I can renew this. And another quick thing is this here, you're going to see all the different exams that I took. This is the NSE7 I did yesterday. And these ones are done a long time ago. This was in 2023, I think. This was 2023, 2024. No, it's 2023 as well. And then I did a SASE version 5 and then SD1 Architect 7.2. There is a new one that is out, 7.6. I'll have to look at it. I'll probably take it maybe sometime in a few weeks, but I don't have to for now because I'm planning to go with other things. I'm going to discuss with you what is my next move in a few by the end of this live. And that's my goal. So what is the NSE7 Enterprise Firewall Administrator? This is an exam from Fortinet that you can find on trainings.fortinet.com. This is where I am. If you go on training.fortinet.com, it's free. You can create an account there. If you go under library, these are all the different exams that you are able to take from Fortinet, NSE certification exams, NSE 1 through 8. My goal by the end of this is to get to the NSE 8. I'm planning to do it next year, 2026, sometime around the summer of 2026, because there are some changes coming to the NSE 8 that we're going to discuss someday. I don't know if all of that is public already, but once I find it, I can make a video about it so we can discuss. Oh, I can show you all those different changes. But these are certification levels. These are the exam levels. What I took was the NSE7 Secure Networking. It's right here. If you come here, there is an exam that you have to take. It's Enterprise Firewall 7.6. This goes, most of these things that is covered by this exam or this course specifically are things that you might have known already if you've been through, working in the Fortinet environment, working with FortiGates, Security Fabric, or if you've been through the NSE certification before, NSE 4, 5, and 6. Here, you just go deep. You do a deep dive in some of these different topics. It says here that you need to have a knowledge of FortiManager. You need to have at least the FortiManager Administrator exam or cert, and then the FortiAnalyzer as well. I think this FortiAnalyzer Administrator is going away from what I'm remembering if you watched the last video that I did. And this is the agenda for this exam here. It covers these few things. First of all, it only has 10 lessons, and I'm going to show you how to access the lessons. The lessons are actually free. You can watch the videos for free. All you'll have to pay will be the labs. So the videos are free, which is great. The labs will be paid, so you have to pay $200 to get access to the lab because it's a whole virtual environment that is going to be deployed for you to come and play with. You have alternatives, I think, but it's always better to get the vendor's lab so you can actually follow. There is a whole lab playbook or study guide where you have a ton of activities to do before you're ready for the exam. So it's very important. But on the side, I'm already answering some of those questions. On the side, you can do your own thing. You can have your own lab. You can have your own GNS3. You can have packet tracer. You can have whatever else deployed. I just realized that my second camera there was not on, which is not a big deal. So you get the lab. I'm going to show you where to buy the labs. First of all, you need to first lesson is the intro to network security architecture, which is great. It shows you how to design a good network and a secure network. Central management focuses mostly on the FortiManager. You use the FortiManager to deploy, to manage, to monitor your network or your FortiGates and FortiSwitches and everything you have. Thank you for your videos. You're welcome, Javier. And then number 3, you're talking about VLANs and VDOMs. Did I make a video for you? I think I might have I made a video last time talking about VDOMs because, I think we did. Last Sunday, we talked about VDOMs. That was me in the middle of preparing for this exam here that I took yesterday. So you need to be good at VLANs and VDOMs, how to do inter-VDOM links, how to do all those things. A lot of packet captures. I mean, not here specifically, but you need to know how to set all the policies. Of course, in the lab from Fortinet, they help you sometime with the scripts that will help you put the firewall policies in place. But me, when I do my own lab, I like to create my own policies. I like to go from scratch. That's how I learn. And we're going to talk about it later on. High availability. You need to know how to put 1, 2 or more FortiGates in HA. We're talking about FGCP here. Oh, I'm outside of the frame. FGCP and FGSP. what is the difference between the two, how, where, or when do you use them, heartbeat, what is inside the heartbeats. I know, like I'm saying, everything here, you might have seen this before, but when you are at the NSE7 layer, which is the network or Fortinet specialist level, you go a little deeper. You don't just stay with the overview or how to configure it. You go deep on how it works, what are the messages, what are the packets inside, and how do you do to encrypt those packets for security, so you can do encryption through your HA links. How do you, and then you can capture those packets, you can see what they look like, what protocol do they use, what port number, all of that is what you cover here. So you go a little deeper. So it takes your time, be in the lab. I've been doing a lot of labs with my gear that is back here, and also I have a GNS3 deployed. We're going to talk about the lab gear later on, or how you can do your labs. But yeah, this is just to tell you that the NSE7 requires a little more from you. And I'm going to tell you about the exam later. And then dynamic routing. This one was a good one as well. So you do OSPF and BGP. This one here, if you've done any of the cert from any other vendor, either advanced or beginner cert, like the CCNA. I know in the CCNA we cover OSPF, but it's only a single area OSPF. But here you need to, of course, know OSPF, how it works, multi-area OSPF, the different network types and everything. You cover that here, as well as BGP, IBGP, EBGP, what to do if you're using a loopback for BGP, what are the commands that you need to make sure you have so it works on the loopback, because it's not directly connected to the network, it's behind a physical interface, things like EBGP, multi-hop, things like that. All those commands, you have to have played with them in the lab for a long time for you to know, for you to be intuitive about it, for you to be to have all those details known, so that when you are at the exam, you don't stumble into uncertainty. And then security profiles, the web filtering, DNS, IPS, and everything. The most exciting part for me personally was IPsec. I went really deep into IPsec. I did a lot of digging, a lot of diagnose, a lot of reading of the documentation from Fortinet, which is also one thing that you should be able to do every single time when you're studying. You need to be able to read RFCs. Look, here I have RFC 2328 open for OSPF. Of course, you don't read everything from top to bottom. Like this one has how many pages? I think it has like 244 pages. This is a lot. So you only read what you want to. Like if you're talking about summary LSAs, you come to the page 212 and you read what is written here. It gives you all the details. I like RFCs because they are vendor neutral, and sometimes they go into some details and specifics that you won't see with any training out there unless you've been digging or you play yourself in your lab. So this was 2328 for SPF. There is also 4306 IKE version 2. Very important. I had a lot of questions on IKE version 2. What is the difference between version 2 and version 1? This is the page on the RFC 4306 where they tell you 12 things that are different, 12 changes from IKE version 1 to IKE version 2. These are good things to know. So RFCs documentation. Let's come here, for example. Let me look for, this was when I was doing my French live. Let me look for FortiGate HA docs. So you have a whole page where you can come and, make sure you also specify the version, because the exam that you're taking with NEC, or the one that I took at least, was the version 7.6. So depending on the version that you are working on, make sure you specify the version so you are on the right page. This is just an example of high availability, the different protocols, how it works. So it's a whole section where you can get a lot of information beyond what you get from the trainings. And then, where was I? Here. ADVPN, very important as well. You need to understand the process. You need to understand what does the hub do, what does the spoke do, or who initiate what. All of that will be explained for you in the lessons and also in documentation. The difference between the legacy ADVPN and ADVPN 2.0, you'll have to know that. It's going to come at the exam as well. So security fabrics, how to integrate everything together, FortiGate, FortiAnalyzer, or have a root FortiGate with a bunch of other FortiGates that are in the same fabric, depending on the route. And depending on the route for automation stitches and things like that, you're going to do that in the lab as well. Hardware acceleration on FortiGate. Here we're talking about ASICs or application-specific integrated circuits. We're talking SPs or security processing, which include NPs, network processing, and then CPs for content processing. Very important in Fortinet, which actually in the FortiGate, which makes the huge difference between the FortiGate hardware and many other vendor, because things can be done at the hardware level, and then you go deep into what's needed, what's good, low latency interfaces and things like that. That's very important. And then by the end of this training, you'll be able to accomplish all of this, to do all of this centralized management, implement HA, combine OSPF and BGP, harden enterprise services, deploy IPsec tunnels for multiple sites. So it was good. And the exam itself, when you enroll, like I said, it's going to bring you on this page. The training will take 19 hours, 9 hours of training and of courses or lessons, and then 10 hours of labs. You can buy it for $200. This is the SKU here. You can buy it yourself, actually. If you hit this button, it's going to bring you to the page where you can just check it out and make your payments to get access to this lab. And the lessons, the good thing I like about this is that the lessons are already there, free for you to watch. If I click on this lesson number 1, you can start watching it right away. So you don't have to pay the $200. The videos are already there. You pay the $200 for the lab and the virtual environment that is going to be deployed for you. After you click on the lab, for example, it takes usually like 10-15 minutes for everything to deploy. And then you have usually around an hour 30. One of the labs, I think the last one is like 300 minutes to do the lab. And I think you can restart the lab again if you want to. So here are the lessons. You don't see the labs here because I haven't paid for them. But when you pay, you're going to see after each lessons, except the lesson number 1, you're going to have a lab that you can go through. And you will have the option to download some PDFs that will show you the content or the study guide. Everything that you see in the lessons will be on the PDF. And then you have the labs on the PDF as well. That's how you're going to study for it. Let me go back to my questions to make sure I answer everything. So how to study, I just showed you training.fortinet.com. Me personally, I don't know if I'm going to create some course on this, but probably in the future if I ever have time for it. I know right now what I'm preparing for you is the FortiGate operator. I'm doing it my way. I'm explaining. I'm doing it on the whiteboard and doing a ton of labs for you guys if you are preparing for it. It's not there yet, but make sure you are on en.kbtrans.com so you will get notified when it drops. This is actually for the CCNA, but it's the same link, fr.kbtrans.com. Oh, geez, that is the French one. Let me show you this one. All right, this is what I meant. en.kbtrans.com. That is where my trainings will be. But nevertheless, I go live every Sunday. I publish a ton of videos. I bring you in my lab every day. When I can, I show you things that I do, like we did VDOM last time. We're going to do more in the future just to help you get to where you want in your career. That's my goal, help you start to boost your career. That's why I started with the CCNA. I'm going to get into a lot of Fortinet trainings as well, all the different products and how to master them because they're very popular right now. I get a ton of feedback from people all over the world, from Africa, from Europe, and here in the United States, Canada. So Fortinet is... these are the certs that you need to have. You need to have on your resume. It's helping. So what next? How to pass the exam. So this is more like how to study. So these two can go together. How to study and how to wait. So I'm talking about how to study and how to pass the exam. How do I do it? Okay. Do you recommend purchasing FortiOS7.6 Administrator Lab, or should I wait for you to release your course? I would say that That's up to you. My course doesn't go against my course. My course will probably um, complement what you have on Fortinet website. So I would encourage you to buy that and work on that on that course from Fortinet, the official course. Mine will be just adding more to what you have already. Will be showing you more. So that's all I can say for now. And mine is not out yet. I don't know when it's going to be out. Maybe in a few months, probably. My goal was to do it by the end of the year, but I don't know I'm gonna make it. But sometime, of course, hopefully by the end of the year. Um, but yeah, getting it on the Fortinet website has a lot of advantages. Like you get all the licenses. The lab that you buy, the $200, when the environment is deployed, you have virtual devices that are deployed in a certain topology. All the licenses are there. Everything you have to know is there, and there is a step-by-step lab guide that will go through all the different actions or things that you need to configure and know. All the packet capture, the diagnose, everything will be there, and a lot of explanations. So it's useful. Mine, of course, I won't be able to provide you with any license or anything. Of course, you'll have to uh, deploy it with either test licenses. And actually, I made a video. I think I made it. Now I'm confused because sometimes I make videos in French and I don't do them in English. So I think I made a video showing you how to install multiple 7.6 FortiGate VMs on ESXi. No, GNS3 as well as ESXi. So you can do that. You install the Forti Manager. You can deploy your own lab, SD1 or things like that. So I would say whatever works for you, but I would recommend you to get the official course as well. Mostly videos are free. Get them. The lab is also good. So how did I study? Me, I am very thorough when I'm studying for an exam. I really take my time. This one specifically took me about a week to get prepared, a little over a week. What I do is that, and I showed you, you have only 10 lessons. But those 10 lessons are full of knowledge, full of information, full of new bits that you didn't know before. So what I usually do is that before even getting into the lab that Fortinet provides on the training course, I have my own environment. I have the chance to get access to the hardware. I also have a virtual appliances in my ESXi environment. So I have SD1 deployed in Hub and Spoke. Let me show it to you. This is my lab. I call it KB Lab. And I'm actually going to create like a playlist or a ton of videos showing you how I deployed all of this. And this is something I can just destroy and redeploy again. I can do it over and over. So this is my lab. This one specifically is running behind me here in my rack. And this is where I test stuff. Like when I'm on a lesson, they're talking about whatever, HA, IPsec. I just come in the lab, I redo my design, I try to look at the commands or the things that is being talking about in the training. And let's say, for example, I'm configuring HA. So this is actually what I was showing to the French folks. So if I do config system HA, I will do get first. I want to be specific. I want to look at all these different commands and what they do. And I can do show to see what I'm currently running on. There is no configuration. And then get will show me the different options that you have. Monitor, we talked about it last time, or did we? I don't remember. But yeah, so I want to be very detailed when I'm studying. That's how you become good. Because the exam itself can be tricky. Yes, I got really hot during the exam because I flagged like 8 different questions out of the 36. The exam really requires you to know what you're doing. And to me, the only way to know what you're doing is to spend a lot of time in your lab. Have a lab on the side, you work on it. Of course, if you paid the 200, you're going to have the lab from Fortinet, work on that as well. But mainly have your own lab on the side to test everything, to break it, to rebuild it. And that's how you become good. Like I said here, a lot of labs, diagnose command. Be friend with the diagnose command. Diagnose every single thing. Diagnose the IKE, VPN, IPsec, diagnose packet sniffers, diagnose packet flow, sessions. Everything need to be diagnosed by you. You need to know how to find every bit of information that you need to understand the situation you are in. Why are my packet not getting on the other side? What policy do they hit when they come in? All of that will be shown to you if you do you know how to do all the debug flow and all kind of stuff. So that's where you would spend most of your time, as well as the Fortinet documentation and RFCs are really important. So that's my way of studying. I can do it for hours. I can literally go for hours in the lab, just discovering new stuff, reading books, reading documentations, coming back, trying it out, seeing how it reacts, and that's the best way to study. If you do that, you don't have to buy dumps, because I know people out there that are professional dumpsters. Like they go out and buy dumps for these kind of exams. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping your career. And like I said, I'm here to help you grow. You grow with me as I grow as well. Cheating or doing all those things, memorizing things like a bird is really not helping. But if you do what I'm showing you here and you take your time, you're going to be good. Me personally, I am so happy with this exam because the process itself taught me a lot. Like I have things that I'm comfortable talking about now because I went through the training. So having a certificate or passing the exam is not about the credentials or the badge, the exam itself. It's the journey of you replacing your ignorance by knowledge when you go through these videos, through the labs. That's actually you building experience on your own inside your house during your lab sessions. Very important. How was my experience during the exam? It was good, uneventful. It was supposed to happen at 5 p.m. my time. I logged in around 4:45. I was the third person in the queue, and it took like 5 minutes for me to be first in the queue. And a lady jumped on. She called me. Of course, I uploaded all the documents, including my ID and the pictures of my room. And she called me. I also showed my room with my webcam on the computer directly. So it was really straightforward. I started the exam. But one thing is, after a few minutes, I was really hot. Like, it's already winter here where I am, and the house is well heated. Normally, I usually keep it around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is great. But I got hot because those questions can be tricky. Like I needed to be very concentrated and very careful on what I'm picking or what response I'm choosing for those questions. And it went great. I was able to remove my sweater, and the exam went well all the way to the end. I was happy when I saw the results because it's the kind of an exam. It was the kind of thing where I know I was good. I know I was prepared, but I didn't have 100% certainty in the pass because it can be tough, because it can be confusing sometimes, because you don't know how many questions you're failing. I had 36 questions to do in 70 minutes. Around 60 minutes in the exam, I went really slow, and after 60 minutes, I completed all the 36 questions, but I flagged 8 questions. So I had to go back and redo the 8 questions to see if I can find a better answer, or if I didn't know the answer, I'll just pick whatever pops up and go for it. So, or go with it. That's how I did it. At the end, I got a pass, so it was a good news. This is just showing you the kind of things that I saw. These are the notes that I wrote right after the exam. So, of course, it's covering IKE. You need to know the different versions. What is the difference between version 1 and version 2? BGP, you need to know, look back, BGP and everything. ADVPN, you need to know the process. How does it work? What initiates what? Does the spoke want it or the hub send it to? There's like a six-step process that you need to know how ADVPN comes to be. OSPF network types. Some of the questions were a little tricky. I was just like, is it this? Is it that? But I'm glad at the end it all worked out. Redistribution, you need to know how to redistribute your connected, static, or other routing protocol into OSPF, into BGP. Hardware acceleration, all of this was covered. So it was fairly, I would say it was challenging. But if you are prepared well, you can definitely do it. And remember, the exam itself, I think on Pearson View, it's about $200. So if you miss it, or if you don't take it or pass it the first time, that's gonna cost you another $200 to take it. How can I help? I'm helping here on KB Trainings. I am creating videos on some of these topics. I don't know, maybe next Sunday we can pick one of these things and I'm going to talk about it. I don't know, OSPF or IPsec or whatever. I can just go deep because I have the gear. I can show you how it's done, the configuration, and how deep I can go into showing you the details. I do it for you and also for me. Like when I'm presenting you these videos, it's pushing me to know more. It's pushing me to be good at it. So it's a win-win in this situation. I create free videos here on YouTube, but also on en.kbtrends.com. That's where I learned some of my courses. The FortiGate operator is the next one to drop. Like I said, we are in the middle of November now, almost the end of November. I want to do it by the end of the year. It's going to be there. I already started recording when I have time, but I don't know when it's going to drop. So it's going to be there. But for now, the CCNA is there. I have another course on getting started in cybersecurity, which is free. So it's all about helping you guys. It's all about sharing what I know with you, because I think all these things can be intimidating at times. But in general, if you put your mind to it, if you do it the right way, if you put a lot of effort in it, I study a lot, guys. I spend a lot of time in my lab. So it requires a lot of your investment to understand what's going on, to understand what it does, and how to configure them, the why, the how, all those questions. You need to answer them when you are training yourself. All right, guys, I think that's all I had. Thank you, Javier, for your presence in the chat. Thank you for the quick question. If you watch this after, I go live every Sunday. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel so you get notified every time I'm live. I do this live right now. It's 6:15 p.m. here in Denver, Colorado. And if you want to catch me live and leave your question or drop your question in the chat, make sure you subscribe. And yep, I'll catch you next time. In the meantime, I'll see you on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at DBSuku for my personal account, or KB Trainings for the training account. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye.